featured bout, and it is brought to you by America Presents. It is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Chairman is Dr. Elias Ghanem. Commissioners are Glenn Carano, Lorenzo Fertitta, Luther Mack, and Dr. James Nave. The executive director is Mark Ratner, and the matchmaker is Tom Brown. The timekeepers are Al Bisick and Mike Lasella, and the physicians are Dr. Al Capana and Dr. Gino Signorino. The 3 judges assigned, scoring on a 10-point must system are Bill Graham, Art Lurie, and Dave Moretti. When the bell rings, the referee in charge of the action will be Joe Cortez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our main event, 10 rounds of boxing in the heavyweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting to my left out of the red corner, he's wearing solid purple trunks and weighed in at 238 pounds. Coming to us from St. Petersburg, Florida, he has a professional record of 43 wins, 9 losses, with 40 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Alex the Destroyer Stewart. And his opponent, fighting directly across from him out of the blue corner. Tonight he's wearing red trunks with gold trim and weighed in at 240 pounds. Hailing from Havana, Cuba, he now makes his home right here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and has a professional record of 27 wins, 5 losses, with 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jorge Luis Gonzalez. Once again, your referee in charge, Joe Cortez, now to give the instructions.
All right, Stewart, Joe. All right, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. Ya vi las reglas en el camerino. I expect a good, clean fight. Una pelea limpia. Touch him up.
Well, both fighters at this juncture at least looking very serious as we look at the numbers, and Gonzalez at 6'7", a decided height advantage. Gonzalez also coming in at what for him is a svelte 240, each man 34 years of age, the reach advantage, as you might expect, to Gonzalez. The question is, which man has the bigger heart? Stewart in the purple and Gonzalez in the red as we begin. And again, the heat, I have to believe, Rich, will be very much a factor in this fight. And we'll talk about that right now. Let's get you over to the corner where Sean O'Grady holds forth. How do you see it, Sean?
Well, I'm in Gonzalez's corner. You know, Alex Stewart is a veteran, but he's a very slow starter. It's something that happens to these aging veterans. They stop starting so quickly. They lose their sharpness. So for that reason, they say they're going to send Gonzalez out very fast at the start. But look at how Gonzalez begins this fight and this round backing up.
Yeah, we've heard the spiel on many occasions that Gonzalez is in the best shape he's ever been in. We hear it from him. And he looks pretty fit, I have to say. For whatever reason, though, Richie has not been able to bring it to the table.
Well, I want to see if he gets down to business here. He's just starting to put that jab to work right now, which could be a very great weapon for him. He does look better than I can recall seeing him in a long time. Just from the cut of his body, Barry, you can see that he has been doing work. And this is a guy who used to be known as a guy who wouldn't train or didn't want to train and was basically uncoachable. Apparently that has all changed in terms of his trainer now, Kevin Henry, who says, you know, I know that's what everybody says about him, but really I find him one of the easiest guys to coach I've ever had. So right now, Jorge Luis realized that his way was not the right way when he was starting as a pro, and, you know, has reformed. But the question is it too late?
And it's like the basketball team looks good in the airport, you know. Gonzalez may look good in the gym, but he's got to bring it to the dance.
He's trying to get that jab to work, and that'll be a great weapon against the 5-inch shorter Alex Stewart tonight. But let me point this out. In his last fight, Alex Stewart fought 6'7" Lance Whitaker, and he got to Whitaker in that fight. He lost the fight on a cut, but he got to it, and now he's hurt.
Big uppercut from Gonzalez drove Stewart into the ropes.
Don't forget, we've seen Alex in the same desperate situation on many times before, and he somehow manages to fight out of the fog.
Saw it against Ezra Sellers in a fight here on Fox Sports Net last year. In fact, it was our fight of the year. 7 knockdowns in that fight, not all by Stewart. But most significantly, he got the last one.
In terms of that Ezra Sellers fight, I asked Alex, did you know what was going on? He said, you know, you may not believe this, but I actually knew what was going on the whole time. I couldn't prevent it all from happening. He goes, but I did know what was going on and what I had to do.
So we come toward the end of the first round.
She never wanted a storybook wedding. No fancy engraved invitations. No stuffy RSVP envelopes. All she needed was a postcard, a dime-a-minute 800 number, and a suitably romantic location. With Sprint Sense Anytime, now all your calls are a dime a minute. Calls from home, calling card calls, even calls to your Sprint 800 number. You too can live happily ever after. Call Sprint at 1-800-PIN-DROP now.
With Matchlight, you get the best charcoal, Kingsford, with just the right amount of lighter fluid already added. That's why there's only one match for Matchlight. Matchlight from Kingsford.
We start the second round. Real imperceptible cut under the on the eyebrow of Stewart. I don't really see any blood, but there is a little nick there, and they were working on it in the corner. It is not anything that would resemble a problem right at the moment.
We should also mention that Stewart is now being trained by Joe Goosen, so he's relocated to Van Nuys, California. Spent several weeks working there.
Comparable numbers in the first round, but Gonzalez more effective. You know, you and I, Sean O'Grady joins us here, did a fight in Baton Rouge with Alex Stewart, and we said some things that were not the kindest things about him, that he wasn't in the greatest shape, and he really took that to heart. And since that time, he's gotten himself in reasonably good physical condition, and he seems to be tonight too.
And he reads the pictures here. He sees how he is, you know, at 34 years old, how they're not talking about Alex Stewart when they mention the best fighters in the world in the heavyweight division. You know, he's a fighter who's fought a lot of big names, but he's never fought for a championship. Alex has not. He would like to do that before he retires. And he sees the light at the end of the tunnel. It's imminent that he will retire sometime soon.
Well, he's got a skill, a real man mountain here at Gonzalez. Starting to get to him a little bit, but Gonzalez, I think, has been fighting a very effective fight, using his jab very well. You know, this guy's got great tools, Jorge Luis Gonzalez. You know, I don't care what he's done as a pro. His skills were such. This is one of the great. Oh, what an uppercut!
Huge uppercut, same punch as drove Stewart into the ropes before. Stewart up quickly.
And Stewart has been vulnerable to that uppercut for many years.
He will not give up, Alex Stewart. But he's in deep trouble.
And another uppercut and a hammering right hand by Gonzalez. Stewart trying to get the legs back.
You're seeing some of the skills I was talking about just moments ago, though, with Jorge Luis. This guy is one of the greatest amateurs fighters of all time. He never translated that to the professionals. Oh, man, I'm telling you, he is winding up with that uppercut.
And Stewart, as he has been, is there again.
You know, the last uppercut looked to be harder than the one that knocked him down.
Stewart's still a little wobbly. He does not have his legs back yet.
Well, he knows how to weather the storm, though. Stewart has been boxing since he was 10 years old. Started in England. Went to the gym with his friend Shane McMillan.
Another right hand, and it stopped him, and that's it. It's over.
Wow.
Just like that. And I think that's well stopped by Joe Cortez.
Well, that is the best we've seen of Jorge Luis Gonzalez as a professional. He promised it would be, and it was. For really the first time, I think, as a pro, this guy came through.
Yeah, I think so, too. He was very effective. He wasn't leaning on his opponent. He came in here at 240. That's 12 pounds less than he fought his last fight against Rodolfo Marin back in Miami. Came in fit. This time he lived up to all the advertising.
Good fight, Alan.
Stewart, on the other hand, really a target for that uppercut. Now you might have to say maybe it's time.
All right, now earlier in the round, and look at that right uppercut from Gonzalez. Then he kind of leans on him, but I think Stewart was going to go down anyway, from what I could see from that uppercut. He leaned on him and pushed him down, but he was badly hurt. Look at him struggling to get up out of that knockdown. And it was the uppercut which did the damage with the final punch as well. That's a tremendous shot by Jorge Luis Gonzalez. And Stewart was indefensible, really, in terms of his ability to stop that right uppercut. That was the key punch here tonight, and it was unloaded beautifully by an in-shape and newly focused Jorge Luis Gonzalez.
Yeah, by far the best we've seen it. Let's get into the official decision now with Thomas Treiber. Thomas?
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes, 38 seconds of the second round. Referee in charge, Joe Cortez, steps in and calls a halt to the bout with your winner by technical knockout, Jorge Luis Gonzalez.
Jorge Luis Gonzalez is the winner in impressive fashion. And you said before the fight, Rich, that this would be his most significant win. And I think he really put an exclamation point on that.
Well, it's significant because, one, because of the opponent was a guy who's been a top fighter. Two, it's significant because of he trained. And three, it's significant because of the way that he looked in there. That was impressive.
Let's hear what he has to say as we go to the center of the ring. Sean O'Grady with the winner.
Well, you made it look easy, Jorge. You went out, you set him up. Did you think it would be such an easy fight?
Jorge, ¿tú pensaste que la pelea iba a ser tan fácil?
Bueno, en la condición que estoy en este momento, cualquiera para mí es fácil, cualquiera.
He says the kind of shape he's in right now, anybody's easy for him. You know, he's in tremendous shape and he's injury-free.
But this is what we have expected from Jorge all along in his pro boxing career. Why has it taken till now for him to produce?
Dice que esto es lo que esperaba todo el mundo en tu carrera. ¿Por qué estamos esperando ahora para que esto esté pasando?
Es que son cosas de la vida. He tenido muchas lesiones y me han parado mucho dolor de la espalda. Me han mucho tiempo, 4 años y medio, casi 5 años. Y por eso estaba peleando en malas condiciones. Pero ahora estuve viendo porque mi espalda está mucho mejor ahora.
He says, you know, he had a lot of injuries, you know, now he's injury-free, so he's fighting. It's very difficult to fight when you're injured, you know, it's just very difficult. You can't get away from punches.
It is difficult. But you know what? You have been hanging around this division, the heavyweight class. What does this tell the other heavyweights out there that have thought that your career was over?
¿Qué esto le dice a los otros heavyweights que pensaban que tu carrera se había acabado?
Ese es el problema, el gran error que ha tenido, el gran error. Dile que en este momento yo me siento mucho mejor, más confiado, más fuerte, más determinación que antes, cuando estaba invicto.
He says he feels a lot stronger, a lot more confident. You know, his whole games, even before he was unbeaten, when he was undefeated with 24-0, he feels better now. He's got a lot more confidence and he's injury-free.
Where does this put you in the heavyweight division?
Well, the way I look at it, you know, it's you know, we're ready for anybody. We love to fight Tyson. That's what we really would want. We'd fight. We'd love to fight Tyson.
Mike Tyson or Daryl?
Mike Tyson. And at the same time, you know, we gotta win over Lennox Lewis too. You know, and the amateurs would like to fight him too. Either guy.
Well, that's terrific. I'd like to see you fight all of them tonight. All right, Barry Rich. Wow. You know what? He needed to have a good showing tonight, and one that raised some eyebrows. He did.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right, Sean. And there is the vanquished. And I'm sure Alex Stewart having some ideas now about what might, or maybe even more significantly, might not come next for him. The uppercut, the big weapon. We got more boxing coming your way from Las Vegas after this.